Hey, Corey Morgan from Suits and Boots here. I wanted to address an issue we've seen happening since the Keystone got shut down. Probably dead for good. Rex Murphy wrote a recent piece saying Albertans are asking themselves, what's the point? And what's getting me is the reaction from people now online to Rex even daring to ask that. Why are those uppity Albertans so upset? Why are they whining so much? Why are they complaining so much? Well, we are ticked off, and we've got good reason for it. So let's address it. I mean, some people are saying there's nothing Trudeau could have done to stop what happened with the Keystone. That very well might be possible. That might be it. You know, and people say, well, Jason Kenney put that money in. That's his problem. Yeah, I'm not too happy with Kenney for pouring our tax dollars into that high-risk project as well. But the thing is, when it comes to an international project, we expect our federal leadership to at least stand up for us, to try. Even if it's a lost cause, you try. You represent your constituents, and that includes Alberta. But what did Trudeau do? He shrugged. He basically said, what can I do? It's out of my control. Sorry about that. He didn't even try. That's why we're pissed off. Make an effort. Well, you know what? He's not going to, because he doesn't care about the energy sector. He's ideologically driven. And we're seeing that more and more. And we're seeing his general acts of complete irresponsibility. I mean, we look at this Governor General episode. He appointed her personally. This is pure Justin. She's all yours, Justin. And when it turned into a complete catastrophe, and we knew about this back in August, it took 6 months to get here. Now she's been let go, and she's going to get, $150,000 a year and a lifetime pension out of it, and $100,000 a year expense account. And Justin, well, what can I do about it? What? Why are you so upset? Why are you mad? It's not my fault. It's never his fault. And we got other issues coming. So we've got Line 5. This one is pretty similar. We got the governor of Michigan, who's a close ally with President Biden, wants to pull the permit on Enbridge's Line 5, which feeds Sarnia. Now, if this goes, thousands of jobs are going to be lost. And again, see, Trudeau has shown he's indifferent to thousands of jobs being lost if it's energy sector. This isn't Sarnia, though. It's getting closer to his own backyard, so maybe he'll put a token effort in. But he better get on it, and soon, because this thing's slated to be shut down in May. And then Line 3, which everybody's talking about, well, that's more takeaway capacity for Alberta. That's going to help us out here. Well, Line 3 feeds Line 5. If Line 5 is shut down, we're talking it's like a string of Christmas lights. You start pulling out lights, the old classic ones. You pull them out in the middle, the whole string is broken. And again, Alberta is stuck selling discounted product. What's Trudeau? Well, what can I do? There's nothing I can do. Now, getting beyond Line 5, we've got this Trans Mountain. It's funny. Everybody's all over Kenney for having put money into the Keystone, which he shouldn't have. And then we get Trudeau, who's put billions and bought the Trans Mountain. And some people are saying, you Albertans, you should be happy. Trudeau bought you a pipeline. Well, he killed it in the first place. He didn't have to buy it. If the government just got out of the bloody way, it'd be done. It'd be well along its way. Private industry would be paying the bill. But the government made it so unviable that the only way to do it was for the government to buy it. Now the costs are going through the roof. The thing's moving at a snail's pace. I don't think it's going to get done. And Trudeau certainly doesn't have the will to push this thing through. He would rather flush the billions down the toilet and let it go. And then we're really hooped. Shut Alberta in. This is why we're upset. We have a federal leader who refuses to go to bat for our region. Why wouldn't we be upset? As Rex said, what's the point? I mean, what is the point of Canada? What's the point of being in a federal confederation if we aren't standing up for each other as regions? If we can't get our product across provincial borders, then what's the point? We might as well be a country. In fact, nations have more leeway in negotiating things like infrastructure access and pipelines than provinces do. So we're starting to think, well, there's nothing to lose within Canada. And why, guys, if you don't like that attitude coming from Albertans, well, then show us something to be enthusiastic for. Well, we've got generations of this attitude. See, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, Justin is a dumber version of his father, but he's just as ideologically driven and just as anti-West. So that's why Albertans are upset, because we see nothing but dead ends, and we see nothing changing. We're sitting on a resource that the world wants. People are saying oil's dead. Not even close. The world's expected demand is expected to grow for decades yet. Decades. We're sitting on this resource. We're sitting in an economic disaster right now. We should be digging this up, drilling it, pumping it, getting it to customers as much as possible to save our economy, to help them keep their cost of living low while the world recovers from this pandemic nightmare. But instead, we're shutting it in. Look, guys, the world's going broke. We can't afford stupid, bloody windmills. And this doesn't stop the consumption of oil and gas. It just means that Saudi Arabia and Russia and a lot of places that don't have to worry about things like human rights and environmental controls will fill the need, while we sit in Alberta and go broke. So if you wonder why we're pissed off, well, that's why. That's why we're asking ourselves, what's the point? Now, suits and boots, we can't count on government, obviously, to stand up for our industries. So we got to start doing it for ourselves. And that's what Suits and Boots does. We're standing up. We're giving a voice to the workers from the office towers, which are 30% empty and growing in downtown Calgary, to the field, where, again, mass unemployment and layoffs are happening while we're sitting on one of the most precious resources in the world. So please support us at Suits and Boots. We got a lot to do this year. Go to suitsandboots.ca. You can sign up, subscribe, support us in a lot of ways. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, share our stuff. We don't have to go down without a fight here. Obviously, our politicians aren't going to fight on our behalf, but we can stand up for ourselves. And then maybe we won't be so pissed off later.